is that what we have in common, that water immersion and for baptism and as a picture only, pictorial ordinance of the church, and the Lord's Supper as a pictorial ordinance. Um, Only those two. And many were teaching in those days that to not eat meat sacrificed to idols, and they were or eating meat sacrificed to idols. I don't think they could make up their mind in those things, and or eh, and that you had to be circumcised to be saved and keep the Old Testament law. So works salvation. They wanted to go back to a works salvation. So that's what the doctrine is today. Today we have those who teach that the Bible is just a bunch of fairy tales, and that and then we have the reverse religion, which basically teaching atheism in the church. And so we have false doctrine. Toward the end of Paul's ministry, the record clearly shows that Paul did not exercise gifts of healing. For instance, notice that he left Timotheus at Miletum sick, 2 Timothy 4:10. Why did not Paul heal his friend Timotheus? Paul, you see, did come to the end of his ministry, and the sign gifts even then would begin to disappear from the church. At the beginning of Paul's ministry, nothing of at the beginning of Paul's ministry, nothing of the New Testament had been written. Paul himself wrote the second book of the New Testament. When he went into a new territory with his message, what was his authority? He had no authority except sign gifts. However, after the New Testament was in written form, the emphasis shifted from sign gifts to correct doctrine. Paul warns that if a man does not have correct doctrine, even if he is an angel from heaven, you should not receive him. So listen to this, and we're talking not to have fellowship with them or eat with them. That it says not to have them in your home, and so not to receive them. It says, but though we or an angel from heaven preach another gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. That's Galatians chapter 1 and verse 8. So we see here the sign gifts were for that, but the idea here is that another gospel, that you have to do more, that you have to be circumcised, or that you have to perform works to be saved. These is another gospel. However, in these early days of the church, the apostles' sign gifts were important. Notice the reaction of those who heard the Dorcas being restored to life, verse 42. And it was known throughout all Joppa, and many believed in the Lord. The sign gifts were used to confirm to them the gospel of grace. And then verse 43. And it came to pass that he tarried many days in Joppa with one Simon, a tanner. A tanner used acid to tan his animal hides. It really made the place quite odoriferous. When I was in Joppa, that is J. Vernon McGee, I'm going to have to look it up and see where it's at in my Bible. We were shown the place where Simon Peter is said to have stayed. Joppa is a rather picturesque village right on the water's edge, and the tanner's house was down there. And the house looks old enough to have been there that long. So this may well have been the place where Simon Peter stayed.